Hey, welcome back. We got a couple big boxes here full of knives. A buddy sent me, I think, 10 knives, if I recall correctly. It might be 9. And let's get into them. These are 9 knives I believe I've never had hands on. What we got here? See what kind of trouble he's got for me there. Oof, look at that. Dessert first. SPK Lamia or Lamia. Let's start there. Hell yeah. All right. Got a bunch of Nymbles here and a bunch of others over here that we'll get into. But hey, when this guy pops his head out first, you got to grab him, right? Let me just double check this is something I can show on here. Hey Dan, have a blast with these babies. What is all this? He's always hitting me up with the funny stickers. He knows my where I eat out. It's a good one. All right, have a blast with these babies. Knifey specs and links included. There's once a fellow who wished to score witty. Holding knives in his pocket was his priority. Arrested at school, he sure felt a fool. How he wishes he didn't scare the sorority. Enjoy. Very good. Very, very good. So he's got all sorts of info on the knives here. I will not show this stuff in case there's anything he doesn't want on there. Let's start with this guy. Man, I've been wanting to get hands on this. Since we're just going to go one at a time, I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in here. I have been wanting, there's only been a few hundred of these made, 130 or something last I saw. And I've been really anxious to get some hands on one. So let me get some better light over here. Got to do this one right. Oh, lamp. Sorry. All right. Ooh, the size is a little different than I expected. I expected it to be like bigger. I think I expected this to be about this big. He's actually texting me right now. I was lamenting to him about the craziness of my acquisitions this week, and he just pointed out how overwhelming that must be. So, looks like it's an S90V blade. The handle, titanium. I feel like in the pictures, it's not obvious that these are titanium. They almost look kind of plasticky or something like that, but let's see what it's all about. Very nice, very nice. Interesting. Nice rollout. It's a washer knife, right? So very smooth. I like the size a lot. Let's see what it feels like in hand. Ooh, that's probably one of the better qualities of this knife. Feels awesome in hand. A beautiful grind from top to bottom there. That's really cool. He's done a couple different grinds too that I've seen. He's done some of those like kind of layered looking grinds as well. Really interesting guy that's making these. And yeah, that's very nice. Ooh, nice on the thumb action there. Try that again, see if that was a fluke that actually got it. Nope, that's good. I'm being very careful because it is a frame lock to not put pressure on the lock bar. Let's try messing around with the lock bar pressure a little bit. Yeah, and I can't do it then. The good thing about the reverse flick is it pretty much forces you to put your finger in the right place. So it's a nice knife. It's obviously, I think, maybe not obviously, but one of the knives that comes to mind right away is how does it compare to the Oz Roosevelt? The Rosie's on bearings, so definitely different. But size-wise and stuff, let's go this way. Pretty darn similar. It's a little longer. Very different approach on the handle design. The cool thing about the Oz, it's a little less flexible in terms of like you can't just grab it anywhere in a way. But man, they give that nice big finger choil to get up in it. Very different approach here. More flexible, choke up, kind of get wherever you want on it. But not quite as, when you're in the right grips on this thing, it just feels super ergo. It's actually, it's right in there. It's, I don't know. Hard to compare the two, but they're both really great. This one's a little more contoured feeling. It actually doesn't look like it is actually contoured, but the way he kind of knocks it down on the edges here, so there's kind of like two levels of contouring that happen here. It's really nice. So I think this was a aftermarket Argyle finish on it. I'm pretty sure that the owner that sold it to my friend did that finish, and yeah, just both the knife and the finish are really nice. Love the pocket clip here. Yeah, I'd like to have one. There are some people that like trade these back and forth on the versus Roosevelts, and I think that'd be hard for me. It is there. Maybe just to have one, it'd be worth a Rosie, but boy, I don't know. It's very good. Especially for a washer knife, it's very good. And man, I was just gonna say the thumb deployment is so good. Definitely easier on the thumb deployment than the Rosie. The Rosie is a little less obvious where to put your thumb. There's not really like a super natural place to do that. So I do think the thumb deployment is quite a bit better than the Rosie because there's such an obvious contact point there. To make sure I get the Rosie with the thumb, if I'm going to do the meat of the thumb, I kind of give it a little flick sometimes like that. Of course, that didn't make sure it all did it. Or I'll come in with the side of the thumb there and kind of do that. The Rosie's just action is unbelievable in the reverse flick. This is more mellow because it is washers. It feels very tight. Like I almost feel like maybe this thing's tightened down more than it should be, but I don't know, and I don't want to mess with it. It's not my knife. It's obviously been disassembled and stuff in order to do this finish on it, so I also shouldn't judge it too much 100%. But man, I think the biggest takeaway is the thumb deployment is one of the best, and yeah, I kind of like just this smaller, fuller than the Rosie. For the finger deployment, the reverse flick, you kind of can't argue with the Rosie. It's so damn good and just very easy to get into. But so I do like the reverse flick a little more on the Rosie, although this is not bad at all. But man, the thumb flick is really good on this. One of the things I'm noticing is the lock bar is pretty hard versus the Rosie. The Rosie is just very easy to hit the lock bar and fold it back. The lock bar on this one is definitely harder. And then there's more pressure from the lock bar when you're pushing it back. And I don't know if that's something that's adjustable or whatever, but the closing, the very last part of the closing, I would say is very good. That is very satisfying as it goes into its final position there. And I do like how embedded the blade is in there. There's no way you're gonna get nicked. And not that you are with the Rosie either. This one's also very good at it, but there are some knives, you get into kind of these, I don't want to say custom, but like, you know, kind of hand-done knives, and there's sometimes these engineering flaws. That blade is so far and so safe, and there's no way this thing's coming out. The D10 is just really nice on there. It's really very pristine on the D10. It's a great knife. Sorry, I just spent 8-9 minutes on this one, but that's how it goes sometimes when I see a knife I'm really interested in. So dessert first. All right, let's keep going. Let's jump into the Nymbles, because this is another one that I've been really curious to check out. Very interested to see how these are. They look really cool to me. So hopefully they operate as good as they look. He sent a few of these here, so this is very exciting, and actually good comparison for the one that I just unboxed there. So he has some really nice ones. Now, unfortunately, I don't have, well, I guess I do have this document that he just sent me, so maybe I'll open that up here in the background while I go through these. All right, let's start with this one because it's got my eye. This is a beauty right here, the Speedhole one. That one right there is also very high on the list. But man, this thing, I love the multi-deployment. That's sweet. So going back to bearings after kind of going to a washer knife. Feels like some really good action there. Let's see if I can get the thumb. It's not super obvious on this one either. I think if you kind of did a embedded one like that, then it's going to go. Man, this is a pretty one. So this one says it is a Nymble Satin M390 black titanium with blue speed hole, ceramic bearings on hard steel washers. Wow, interesting. Washers and bearings. Steel lock bar insert with ceramic detent ball, gift case, microfiber cloth, stickers included. This is when he bought it. And it looks, I think this is a factory. I think this is all factory, but man, it's beautiful. It looks like it could be aftermarket if so. I don't know if this is a factory original. You know, I just noticed also this looks like it has the ability to front flip. And if you watch the channel, I'm not a big fan of trying a knife front flipping for the first time on camera, but let's give it a go. Oh, really easy. Oh, it's a really nice front flipper. Yeah, these are cool knives. Multi-deployment. It's a little sharp where you put your finger in here. It just feels a little uncomfortable, a little grindy on the finger there. But yeah, with the choke up point and everything, kind of what I expected. Very, very nice. A little mechanical feeling. No, I'm trying to, a little uncomfortable. I don't know what exactly it is, but there's something a little uncomfortable about the grip for me. Looks like, by the way, this one's number 85 out of 200 that were made. It's a really nice knife. So I guess this one was manufactured by QSP. Really like the grind on it, by the way. The swedge, the jimping on the top is really nice. It's a nice knife. It's a little weird how this edge kind of sits here. You almost kind of feel like you'd end up with something going into the finger choil a little bit. I'm not sure I love that. So let's keep moving here on these Nymbles and see what else we think. I gotta go to this one next. This thing is a beauty. Wow, with that little tanto on the front there. Let me get the info on this one. All right. Oh man, some of these knives are so ridiculous. I can't believe how good some of these are. Another M390 Frag milled titanium. It's got some anno, apparently. No, maybe not. So I want to just kind of put these side by side and see how different they are, or how similar they are. Looks like they're both titanium frame lock, same pocket clip. This one feels a little lighter. This thing feels a little more substantial. The reverse flick feels a little better to me for some reason. Like I don't feel as uncomfortable in there. Maybe it's because I'm now used to it, but the detent just feels a little lighter on this one or something. That tanto is pretty wild on this thing. Oops. And yeah, that is a sweetie. That one feels a little better in the hand. I like this, the grip and stuff. Is that finger choil like the same? It just sort of seems a little less big for some reason. Maybe I'm just seeing it differently. But yeah, that is a sweet variant right there. So this is cool. I like these. Very drop shut. Yeah, these are really nice. So let's check the last one, then we'll keep moving in the interest of time. This thing looks like a beast. I have no idea what this is. This is another Nymble, Warncliffe. I don't know what's going on with the back of this thing, but this is totally different than the other two. So I don't know if it's, let's see, Nymble W. I don't know if that's wide or what that means, but totally different, not totally different, but very different feel in hand because of that, that handle is so different. A little more hot spotty on the back, honestly. But man, that is a beautiful blade shape right there. Amazing action on this one too. Yeah, the thumb flick on that with that kind of, you can kind of put your finger right into that there versus on a hole, it's a little weird. Here you get a nice little purchase to go out of. That's nice. I like that. Yeah, that thing is a sweetie. The only thing I don't like about this one is this thing feels a little pointy into my palm if I'm holding it like this. I bet if you held it up higher, it might not, but that's kind of the natural place for it to sit. It's just kind of pointy feeling in there. So only thing I'll say about this one that I'm not in love with. This one has a harder detent, so the front flip is a little harder to do. But yeah, nice knives. I like these Nymbles. Very cool. Let's keep going. We are having fun here. All right. Got to take the jacket off. This is hard work. This is a lot of knives we're unboxing here. Got, by the way, my new EDC beads for my son. Sorry about the cuts from putting a trampoline together. My son made me a bracelet, so that's kind of fun. I don't normally do EDC beads, but when I do, it's because my son sent it to me. All right, let's reward the people that stuck out 15 minutes into the video. This doesn't even feel like there's a knife in the box, which is exactly what my buddy told me I would think as soon as I got into it. So, excuse me. VC Edge is doing some amazing things, and this is called the, oh, it just slipped my mind, the VC Edge interface. Full carbon fiber. Gosh, this thing is just wild. Woven on the handle. M390 blade. Let's get into it. This is insane feeling. I've heard it from the reviews, but you won't believe what this feels like if you ever get it in your hand. It feels crazy, and it looks crazy too. Interface number 92. Wow. I am so happy that he was able to get this and that he's willing to share with me. This is one of the coolest knives I've ever handled. Let's take a look at it. It's got a little titanium frame lock here. It's so weird because I was thinking, oh, I've got the mini bug out. That's about the same weight. Like, it'll feel kind of like that, but the density difference is just weird. It feels, the balance is, I just can't really explain it. It feels hot. It feels like it's not really a knife. It feels like air. Wow, that was much better action than I expected. Oh my God. I have to try and find one of these. That's the craziest knife I've ever experienced. I've never experienced anything like that. That blade is just insane. I heard that you could not feel the seam between the carbon fiber and the blade steel. Absolutely correct. This is unbelievable. How is, oh my God, it's freaking drop shut. The action is just so crisp too. You wouldn't think that would be possible. I'm sure you can hear the sounds of it. It's just unbelievable. I've never felt anything like that. Let's see where the balance point is on this. It's pretty much right where it should be. That's crazy. It's maybe a little to the back because the blade's so light. Unbelievable. It certainly has a little bit of flex in it, which you'd expect, but not much. Gosh, that is just crazy. All right, I gotta do a whole video on this one. I have to keep moving because this is just insane. Never seen anything like that. Thank you so much for sharing this one with me. That is a truly remarkable knife. Holy moly. All right, last one, I promise. Wow, okay. That is really something. If that guy can figure out how to increase his volume so that more of us can get our hands on that thing, holy smokes. Now let's take a huge pivot and we are going to get into the budget knife category for a minute. We got a Kizer here. Sorry, hang on one sec. If I recall correctly, it's a little bit of a unique one. Let's see which one. I gotta see which one we got here. Oh yeah, nice, nice. This is the HIC-CUP. Nice little button lock. Really nice action there. Love the idea of the button lock with a really nice thumb stud. I think that thumb stud might be removable too, which is cool. That is just sweet action. Very, very nice action. Wow. That's a really nice knife. That's in its own way right up there with the Pyrite. It's very different. It feels more blade heavy versus handle heavy, but it's got a beautiful satin grind on it. You got 154 cm blade steel there. That is sweet. Anything you can deploy back and forth that quickly within a minute of handling a knife is just unbelievable to me. That's just so unique to be able to do that. Sweet. Not to mention, if you just use the blade, then it gets to, or the, if you just use the button, then you're on a whole nother level. Very cool. Thanks for sending that one. May have to do a budget button knife bake-off with that one. That's pretty impressive. All right, so the next one in the lineup here, let's have a look. How the heck can you get this thing open? Must push through or something? No? What's going on here? Sorry, I'm gonna take a look over here. Ah, there we go. Just couldn't get it to unstick. This is the Kizer drop bear, and this particular variant is the LMAX blade with stonewash and Arctic Storm with steel liners. Let's jump into it. Looks like it comes with some extra hardware, which is always nice to see. I think this is the one where like you can, it's like the, not a button lock, but a axis lock, but then you can change out the springs or something like that. Ooh, that one feels really nice though, as it is. That is just a little beauty. That thing is just so easy to deploy. Obviously, with most axis locks, you want to put your hands on both sides to grab it to get the best possible purchase on it, but this one just gets really good leverage on it without having to go on both sides, which is nice. That's nice. That's definitely an improvement on the axis lock from what Benchmade puts out there. The feel in hand is really nice too. That is just kind of satiny. Really like this this scale material, whatever it is. What does it say? So it says Arctic Storm. So I wonder if he's modified this or something. Doesn't look like Arctic Storm that any Arctic Storm I've ever seen. But yeah, that's just a sweet little, like if you needed to hand someone a knife and say, become a knife lover, maybe you get them this knife. It's going to be easy for them to use. The detent's easy. You got a 154 cm blade steel, so they'll learn how to sharpen well. It's a very intuitive, I guess this is a draw point, but you know, it's called the drop bear, but it kind of looks almost like a spear point blade. Yeah, this thing is sweet. That is a knife that both a knife lover could love and a non-knife lover can become a knife lover on. I really like it. This one I don't need to review for too long because honestly, it's just straightforward, super simple handle, super simple blade, good jimping. This thing is just an all-around good knife. This, to me, is the new Civivi Elementum. This is what the Civivi Elementum should have been. There are so many drawbacks of that knife that this thing solves. I love it. I really do. If they just keep iterating off of this, they're going to be doing really, really well. That thing is just really nice. Yeah, sweet knife. Kizer drop bear. Probably do a whole video on that one. All right, we got another box here from my buddy. So let's open this one up. See what more trouble he's going to get us into. All right. Love how he puts these in these plastic bags to make sure they don't get wet or something. Very prepared. Some non-magnetic babies added. Knife specs and links included. Wonder if this is for non-magnetic testing. Is that what he's doing for me here? Is giving me some magnets to make sure that these knives are not magnetic. I think that's what's going on here. Maybe I'll leave these in the bag to avoid potentially get the plastic plastic bag on there to help make sure nothing gets scratched if I touch the knife with them or whatever. All right, so let's see what these are all about here. Here we have the, I think this is the same printout from the other box. But the Sandrin Monza, I believe, tungsten carbide with zirconium handles. And the Terrain Invictus, Boker anti-MC, the ceramic blade. I don't know, maybe we got all of them in here. Let's jump into it and see what we got. Okay, got one peculiar feeling knife. Wow. They can barely get this lock thing, but that is sweet. Sweet looking knife. Oh my gosh, that is wild looking. You probably can't tell on the camera, but that's a black blade. It probably just looks like a mirror to you. Holy moly. That's the Boker. That thing feels crazy. That is like so thin, so light. Look at that crazy hollow ground. That was an ambitious grind to put on this knife. Must be washers. You can't fit. I mean, it must be bearing. Washers. You can't fit bearings in this little guy. Yeah, washers. Super smooth. And just enjoy rolling that out instead of trying to flick it. Huh. That's wild. And of course, I miss it a couple times there, but very gentle on the action. I feel like it rewards maybe a reverse flick better. Yeah. I'm probably not supposed to be flicking this thing out. It feels crazy. So, supposedly, he sent me these non-magnetic knives. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Oh, there's something metal. That's so funny that they wouldn't put like a titanium thumb stud on it. The hardware and the thumb stud and the pocket clip. That's funny. But not the blade. Huh. It's so funny that they would, I mean, I guess it's Boker, but still, you would think you would just go all in at that point. Really interesting looking knife there. Very minimal on the, boy, that thing feels substantial. The Terravantium here. The thumb stud's a little tricky to get it to feel just right, but what's up with that fuller? That fuller disappears into the handle. Is that just there to make it stronger? That's funny. That just feels weird because it's not metal or whatever. That's a wild feeling knife. Nice edge on it. Terravantium, very interesting. Let's see if you can roll it out. Nice. Actually quite good on the rollout. Huh. Nice little knife. I I'm not quite sure what to think of this thing. It feels very interesting on the balance. I'm gonna probably review that one separately or something, just because it's kind of messing with my head a little bit. So no magnet, no magnet, no magnet. Wow, nothing. Is anything on this thing? Maybe nothing on this thing. Yeah, now this one's fully non-magnetic, as far as I can tell. Maybe inside with the washers or something, but I think they went fully non-magnetic on this one, so that's really impressive. I feel like Boker kind of shortcut doing a couple of those bits in steel. That's cool. Really nice finish on it too, just across the board. It is definitely a well-polished knife. All right, the last one here. I think this last one, so that Terravantium is titanium and ceramic bearings on it. Assembled in China from American and Japanese parts. Terravantium, huh, so cool. The Boker is a ceramic blade with titanium handles. And then now we're going on to the Sandrin Monza, which is the tungsten, carbide, and zirconium handle. That thing is crazy looking. Let me grab something to clean it up a little bit, just make sure we see its most true form. It does seem to be a little bit of a fingerprint magnet here. Just cleaning it off a little bit first. Okay. Not too bad, actually. Whoa, that sound is crazy. It's so thin with these like kind of carved out thin handles. All right, let's just go right to the magnets on this one. Oh, magnet on the hardware. Hardware is magnetic on this one. It's steel or whatever. Blade's steel too, or at least it's magnetic. Tungsten carbide, I guess. Zirconium handles are not. Those handles are amazing looking. That's some of the best zirconium finish I've seen. What a beauty. Crazy locks. This is the lock. I think it's the SNEX or whatever. Let me see if I can find it on here. Advancement Science of the Blade, PTC, tungsten carbide, flexible grade, 71 Rockwell hardness. Oh my God, that's crazy. 71 Rockwell hardness. This thing would never go dull. The edge is insanely sharp. I gotta cut some paper with this one. Hopefully that wasn't against the rules. I gotta see this 71, because my buddy usually uses his knives. I don't know if he uses this one or not, but usually he does. Beautiful edge on it. Wow. 71 Rockwell hardness. Never gonna see that edge go away too. That's really neat. I bet that would not be fun to sharpen if you had to, but I think this is one of those things where you probably send it in. So SNEX, yeah, SNEX did do the lock on this. The challenge with the way they did this particular one is it's barely sticks out of here. You like really struggle to get to it, but once you do, it definitely rewards you. The sound of it is just crazy. If you can hear that, I guess it's probably this finish on the blade. I don't know, is that just, yeah. Boy, it just has a crazy sound when it comes out of there. That is a sweet, crazy little knife. That is so thin. Holy moly. To put that in perspective, here's a Demco 80 20.5, which is the skinniest of their blades. That is insane. Holy cow. I've never seen anything like that. Huh. I don't really know what to think of this one. This one's like different, not as mind-blowing as the VC Edge, but it's kind of up there in terms of how different this knife is than anything else that I've seen. Look at that edge. That is crazy. It's a really big blade too for how light it is because it's so thin. Let's even put the mini bug out next to that one, just to show how thin that blade stock thickness is. It's crazy. That is really something remarkable. Remarkable knife. Well, he certainly sent some real bangers. I am just freaking blown away. I'd say the ones that stood out the most to me, SPK Lamia. Oh, I'm putting lock bar pressure on. Definitely with this thumb deployment stood out to me a lot. That Sandrin Monza just being so thin and crazy, and the 71 Rockwell hardness stood out a lot. And just the bell of the ball. I'm just picking it up again. It feels like the outer shell of a knife, like a rattlesnake. The rattlesnake has its skin fall off. It feels like you picked up the skin and it can live like a rattlesnake somehow, but it's only the weight of the skin. I've never felt anything like that. So, all right, I'm gonna stop myself. I'm gonna have to do a whole video on this thing. This is one of the most insane things I have ever put hands on. Unbelievable. All right, that's all for now. This is a fun one. Thank you very much for making this happen, and I will see you on the next one. That was quite an experience. I'm overwhelmed right now with what I just saw. A lot of really cool knives here, unlike anything I've seen in the past, and yeah, hard to imagine seeing anything like a lot of these again in the near future. So, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.